make sure that you can hear me. Um, I pray that you can. There's a lot of things going on right now in the world in general, but I would like to speak on the Derek Chauvin case. I believe that it's important to just be able to have real conversation for a second. I've been hearing people speak of the fact that, justice will be served in a few days. Regardless of whatever this outcome is, please know that justice has not been served and you should not prepare for justice to be served. We're in a moment and a place in our time right now where things are not going the way that you would expect or you would think. So, what we need to not do is set ourselves up for a failure. Now, if for some odd apparent reason it really, really works, and guess what? This man is charged with something, that would be a good thing. But if not, let's look at the if not. Let's handle the if not, because what we have to focus on is that it hasn't. It hasn't before. And if it does not this time, don't allow just because it's this time to be the last time. Not saying that we should not be able to speak up for what it is that we believe and have rights to just not be killed in the street. I mean, come on, let's be real. But there's a different it's a different narrative that we should hold. And if we hold onto that narrative, we'll be able to make it through it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because right now, it's almost as if people are being set up and then we're not even aware of the fact that we're being set up. So we continue to just react in the manner of the way that they want us to react. And we get the outcome of the fact that what we don't really want, but because we reacted in the manner that we did, that's the only outcome that should really come from the reaction that we gave. So what we need to do is we need to be proactive on not reacting in the manner in which people are telling you that you should be reacting. Because I'm coming from the city of Philadelphia, and anytime that Governor Wolf thinks that you should he's going to send the National Guard ahead of time to prepare for something that hasn't even happened yet, that says to me, newsflash, 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 Philadelphia, 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 wake up. You have been chosen. Not only have you been chosen, but they're looking at you. They're looking at you, and they're looking at you for a reason, because they believe that you can't do it. They believe that you don't know how to do it. They believe that you don't want to do it. They believe you don't care. And I hate to tell you, but that is not true. Even if that is the narrative that they're giving, even if that is what we're seeing, even if this is the stories that you're hearing, this is called programming. Stop being programming. Stop being programmed. Stop allowing yourselves to be programmed. Not just me, right? Not just you, not just me, all of us. We need to stop. We need to pay more attention. Pay more attention. Be aware of the things that are going on, and be aware of the people that are bringing different things into your ear gates and your eye gates. You have to start to make conscious decisions and say, you know what, everybody has a purpose, everybody has a reason. Everybody's here for a cause. Everybody is here for a cause. Trust me. A lot of people might not be here for the cause to help you. A lot of people might just be here for the cause to keep you distracted. Now, shout out to the people that are there to keep you distracted, because if it wasn't for the people that were there to keep you distracted, you wouldn't know that you have to get over a piece where you cannot no longer be distracted and have to continue on what it is that you are here for. Why did I say that? Not for what you want to do, but what you are here for. Now, with everything else that's going on, if you can tell that the weather is changing daily, you cannot tell the seasons anymore, because it's hot one day and it's freezing the next. Then it's cold. Then it's snowing. Then it's 90 degrees. all in a week. And if I was exaggerating, I would say, dang, I'm exaggerating. But for real, I ain't even really exaggerating. That's how crazy it's been. And we all have experienced it. Because of the fact that we've all experienced it, that's why I can sit here and say that we all need to pay more attention. We all need to take the initiative. That's the word. That's the word that I'm looking for, because it might not be you. It might be the person that is two doors from you that is actually the one that's going to start it. However, when you see it, that won't be the time to ignore it. That would be the time to actually encourage it. That would be the time to join together and do it on purpose. Now, regardless of the outcome, we still have a conversation that needs to be heard. Why? There's a situation that's bigger than the situation. And right now, if we can't handle the situation, let's go beyond the situation. Let me talk to you before you get to the situation. Can we do that for a minute? Let me talk to you before you get to the situation where you are with the police. Now, I'm not talking about just the regular old random traffic stop, because when we're dealing in the traffic stops and things, those are different. I'm talking about before you even got in the car, before you even had the mindset to do something, or just say, you know what, the hell with it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Because there's a time in there where you already had to make that choice, where you know you're either going to go one way or the other. You've already made the choice. So you now have lived your life. You're living your life in a certain manner. You're making the choice every day. Now, a lot of times the choice is not really yours, because you might be caught up in something else, or you might be naive, or you might be manipulated. I don't want to say naive, because I was probably naive. I was like dumb, stupid. I was in love. I'm not going to lie. I was in love. It was great. I just thought that it was going to be the best. I lost a friend in college, and that was love for me. And I never seen love again. So when I saw it, I grabbed it, and I didn't want to let it go. And it was hard to let it go. And I thought that it was great. So you wouldn't have been able to tell me that just going through whatever you had to go through was a part of, you know, making it great. Like, I knew it wasn't all supposed to be great. It wasn't all supposed to be hell. It wasn't supposed to be roses. And it wasn't all supposed to be sad. And it wasn't all sad. So, but meanwhile, it just didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to. So I was dumb on that note, and wasted probably a lot of time, and drifted further and further and further and further and further away from the purpose or the cause of what was called on my life. However, everything works. Everything, well, it says all things work together for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And obviously, that must be me. Because the one thing I can say is everything that I've been through and everything that I saw or experienced, it wasn't all good. Well, a lot of it wasn't good. However, that good helped me stay grounded, anchored, however, covered. These are all the words in that good that lasted through all of the other muck mire and everything else that went along with it. I can thank God that it all comes together. That's why I can sit and say that I won't complain, because I can tell you about some good days and I can tell you about some bad days. But at the end of the day, can't complain, and neither should you. But the point of why I'm here and why I had to say this is because I'm listening to people, and people are speaking to us as if they are caring, and I don't even want to say that they don't care. I really believe that they genuinely do care. They just don't understand, or they're so caught up in the lie of things that there's not enough chance to just I mean, it's an easy fix though. You ask God, and God will tell you exactly what it is. So if you're like living off of fear, you know that's not God, because you can't have faith and fear. So you either have one or the other. So if you're running around trying to get your shots and everything because you're scared to go outside because you know that there's a disease out there and you are trying not to get it because you're scared that things are going to happen to you, or you heard that people are dying, or whatever the case may be, for you to stand in a line to get something doesn't really say that you're being proactive, because this thing's not even really said to be what it is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be going to get it. If you want to be going to get it, you're going to get it. But if you're going to get it out of the fear that you're going to be sick or you're going to die, then maybe you should check your reasons. And I say that because, like I said, if we're doing this out of fear, which a lot of us are, and you can tell that we are because of the conversations that we're having or the reactions that we're coming up with when we hear things that are happening. Like, we have to make choices that are not only for ourselves but for our children, because our children are actually watching how we're reacting to the things that are going on. So if we're reacting in a certain way, then, well, let me say it a different way, because I actually speak to the children. I ask kids about what's going on in our news. I ask them to explain it to me because I know that they are there and they are processing everything that we're processing, that the adults are processing. However, adults aren't processing it with them. So we're here, we're adults, we know how to handle certain things, so we're having regular conversation, but our children are right there. Those little kids are right there. So now the question is, do you really stop the conversation and turn around and ask the kid, or do you even wait till after the conversation is over, because that was the adult conversation, which is understandable. However, we have an obligation to that child now to then ask the child, how is it for them? What was that process like? Did you understand that? What I'm finding is that if you do that, you'll actually be able to see a little bit more. I must say, I appreciate the fact that I have a mentor, and my mentor has told me that what I was doing it, but I thought that it was supposed to be done because I wanted to do it. But actually, it had nothing to do with me, because what I'm doing is not really for me. So I started to ask questions. Why did I start asking questions? Because I don't believe that we're asking questions. I believe that we're just talking. And if we're just talking, that's why things aren't going the way that we need it to go. So I'm not going to ask this question, but did you hear that Governor Wolf has already sent out the National Guard? Have you seen the National Guard sitting around waiting on a verdict to come out? Please experience, or please, if you do experience this, one, understand that the National Guard is there to protect you. The National Guard is there to help you. The National Guard is there to serve. We know people that are in the National Guard. You have family members that are in the National Guard. You may even be in the National Guard. Understand that making something look like a war zone, or making you feel like you're under attack, does not say that you need to react in a manner that you're being baited. That's what the word is, baited. Anytime you see cardboard, you see rigs coming up, and you see people boarding up their stuff. Now, first and foremost, if somebody has already boarded up their things, you should not go to them. They should be shut down. Now, that's a place that doesn't need to open. Why? Because they don't even believe in the fact that it ain't even happened yet. They've given up hope. Now, sometimes people go off of what has happened in the past. Well, most people go off of what happens in the past. If you aren't crazy enough, if only I'm not going to say that only real people do that, because real people really do handle about what's going on in the past, and then they won't even be able to sit in their present right. They can't even sit in their present correctly because of their past. Whatever happened in the past, they can't even have they can't have regular presence right now because they're still living in their past. Even though you can't get any of that back, and you wouldn't be able to go back and change it. So the best thing to do is to solve that. Forgive it. Do whatever you have to do. Make sure you can close it so that you can go on, so you can live at least in the present, so that you can get the present, so that you can move on to the future. The reason being, not so much for you, like I said, but for the babies. So while you're in your present, you got to be able to be more aware that your present might not be so great because you're in your past. However, your kid deserves the future. And anything and everything that's associated with you deserves a future. It deserves an opportunity to live. It deserves an opportunity to strive. It deserves this. It shouldn't just be cut off automatically. So if you're boarding up your building because you believe that someone is going to do something, I mean, that's just me. But you have made your choice, and your building needs to stay boarded up. Because I think they did board up some stuff before one time. Matter of fact, oh no, they did it for the election. They had boarded up the stuff in Washington for the election because they figured that if, no, I think this was if Trump won. They, matter of fact, how about this? They boarded up Washington because they figured if Donald Trump had won, the black people would go crazy, and we would be the ones that would be tearing up and looting and burning up stuff. Because that's the narrative that we see. So that's what we would go into. We don't have to do that. We can step above all of that and bigger than any of it before it even happens. How about that? Now, somebody might say, this child, she up there talking. Yeah, I'm talking because ain't nobody gonna sit around and just watch some other shit happen that we've been watching happen that don't need to happen anymore. Somebody need to say it before it happens. That way we can stand on the fact that we can already speak this thing and say, enemy, you can't have this. You are not welcome here no more. The the confusion, no more. The fact that we can't sit and have real conversation and get things done, no more. The fact that people are being intimidated by our children, no more. And it's not even so much that it's like our children. Trust me when I tell you that our children are just like children, and these children are the same children of the old. The difference is we had activities that were using our brains and they're helping us, and these guys are just having games that are helping them do exactly what they're doing right now. It's just as simple. I wouldn't know how to load a gun and shoot somebody in their temple. I wouldn't know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to walk up on somebody and shoot them in the back of their head. I wouldn't know how to do it. However, children today, they know how to do it because they play video games. Now, I know someone down the line was like, a video game? Yeah, video games. I'm saying that I believe that video games have a lot to do with the fact that we don't do things the right way in a lot of instances, especially like driving. Oh my God. I believe that people they don't obey traffic laws at all. Because what was the first one? Grand Theft? Grand Theft Auto was like, you could run over anything and you were getting points for it. I think it was like when you were running lights, you would run lights. You could run a light, you could get points. Well, you would get points if you hit the people. I remember that. Like, I was like, oh my God, like we're going to hell. That's all I remember saying. I remember sitting behind my boyfriend watching him play the game, and I used to say, "No, this is not good. This can't be good." I'm thinking this can't be good. Why would this even be good? You don't even want them to be, oh God, this can't be good. And to see where we are now, almost 20 years later, I'm letting you know it's not good. So now we can't just sit around and just watch and wait for things to happen. We need to actually go outside and say, hey, don't do that. You know they waiting on you to do that. Don't you do that. Don't go down there today. I'm telling you, don't go down there today because you see them sitting there, right? Don't be stupid. That's what you need to say. What did you call me stupid? No, you would be stupid if you went down there when you see them damn people sitting up there acting like that. You go down there and do something stupid if you want to and just think that it ain't going to happen. So basically, what I'm saying is we don't have to keep falling for the okie doke. Back in the day, you know how they say we was hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray? You do know that they don't even have to do that anymore. Like now we do it ourselves. Okay? Nobody has to tell anybody in our families that they can't do something or they're not good enough to do it because we actually have the ability to show them that they don't need to every day. And we have to make conscious decisions about the things that we're doing because our children are watching us. No, we can't be all upset because the kids are just out here right now tripping, because that's what they're doing. They're tripping. They're screaming for something. And the only thing that they need is God. They need an education. They need to know what's going on. What's going on in the body? What's going on in our body? What's going on in creation? Why were we made? What's the truth about what's going on? You can only find truth in the Word of God. And then when you find that truth, you have to go deeper because now you have to go inside of you because you are God. I know people don't like to hear you say stuff like that. You gotta go with that order and all this other stuff. No, the order is the order to keep you in order. So once you have your order, then you understand that it is all about you. And it's got to be about you because you're the only one that's going to do it. Yes. Yeah, I grew up in the church. I grew up Baptist. So when it comes down to just being a Baptist, oh yes. You can't tell me that he wasn't born, hung, died, buried, and rose again. That's how it works. However, there is so much more to this story that you have to understand that there's a piece in this thing for everybody. Everybody. And because of the fact that it seems like there's different pieces to things, excuse me, we're not like everybody. It needs to be everybody. We can get this together as an everybody because we are one body. It's just a lot of different things going on, and because of all of the other things going on, the only thing that you can actually hold on to is Christ. That would be the solid. That would be that solid rock. Okay, let me say it like Yeshua. Yes, Christ. Like I've heard stories. I hear people say that they're learning. Um, they're finding out more information and who God really is. And it gets scary because it's like we're all finding out about one God. So it's just about the matter of how you're finding out about it. It's still God. And we have to be able to understand that. And I think that's the big thing right now. That's what's going on. If we can get that part of it, the rest of the other stuff will kind of fall into place because it has to. About it. It has to. Because when you start to talk about why you were created, why you, like, what's your goodness, like, what do I need you for? What makes you different from me? Like, the things that are different about you, I need those. Those are the things that help me grow. If everything was the same with all of us, then there would be no way that we would actually intertwine with each other. We just all run together, and that wouldn't be functioning. It would just be flowing. We need to function. So you need friction. You need a yin and a yang. So if you ever seen my who we are, there they are. Those are those faces right there. The yin and the yang. You need your yin and your yang. Without your yin and your yang, you really don't know which way you want to go. Because truthfully, you want to make choices. And then the choice would be that you choose to do better. You choose to do right. You choose to do well. Like I said, you choose not to cut up because something didn't go your way. You choose not to get set up because somebody is telling you what they don't want you to do, which says that they really do want you to do it, and then your psyche is going to tell you that you want to do it just because they told you not to. Now, then I tell you to go tear everything just because I want you to do the opposite? Nah. I don't have time to play. I don't have any time to play the games because at the end of the day, I'm sitting there thinking, God, I talk a whole lot and I don't want to talk anymore. And now you're saying that you have to because back in the day you used to talk about anything. Now I just want you to talk about me. I had to, I had to, I had to, I had to heed. I had to heed. So now what we can't do is sit around and just let people keep talking to us and making it sound like it's good. Come on, yo. The last thing that we need, the last thing we need is to be played with. And we are being played with. So guess what? When you get played with and ain't nothing else about it, you just chalk it up, put it up in the hands, and you say, God, you know you're going to work this thing out. And I know you're going to work it out because you wouldn't have put me here unless you was going to do it. It's been a minute. It's been a tough year and a half or so. It's been tough. However, ain't nothing too tough for God. And you need to know it. And if you don't know it, you should. And ain't nothing too tough for God. So please make sure that if you do nothing else but just be careful and be aware of what the enemy is trying to do so that you, your family, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, so people don't get caught up for the okie doke. So if you see it, you hear it, almost kind of like begin to ease it right now. I'm watching the commercials, I'm listening to it, how it went on Court TV, so now the world wants to see it. It's a very unfortunate situation. It was a very unfortunate situation. We lived it. We lived it. We went through it. We went through the fights of it. We went through the marches of it. We went through everything of it. What we don't want to do is go through it again. We do not want to go through it again. We will stand strong. We will stand firm. If it is not the right verdict, we will make sure that we get the right verdict. Why? Not from those people, not from those jurors, but we will get the right verdict in our minds and in our hearts. And we will handle ourselves as if we have to beat them with our own game. We have to beat them at their own game. And they don't even know how to play. So we set the game, we set the rules, and now we have to beat them at their own game. How about that? The game they made us set up for them. So I don't even know if that made sense, but maybe. Well, yeah, no, because they did. Because they didn't do it. They definitely would have had to make us do. Yeah, yeah. I, the difference is we've never really been a team. However, it is time to be a team. It's time to team back up like the Israelites when they were leaving Egypt. All of us, one body. All different parts, one body. All exiting out of Egypt. That is where we need to be right now. That's where we need to be. Taking it back from the fact that we do not have to live in bondage, and it's in our minds because we're not in chains. You're not making stone mountains, but it is in your mind. So if you see the guards Wave to the guards. Tell your children about being a soldier. Let this be educational. Let them take advantage of educational moments inside of it so that it doesn't look like we are actually so we change that narrative. We change that narrative. We have the ability to do it. Remember, you have your choices. So we choose which way we want to look at this thing. I choose life every time. So the more we choose life, the more we learn how to handle situations a little bit better, regardless of the outcome. Because I really don't believe that I heard so many messages today about it was going to go down, and we know that justice is going to be served. Just because you know that justice is going to be served, and we ain't seen nobody's justice being served for like years, that pissed me off. That made me mad because that says that you, knowing better, should say better because we need to know better by the truth. We need to hear people tell us the truth. Don't think that it's going to come out right because you know damn well it ain't going to come out right. You know they're going to lie. They're going to do whatever they can do to make sure that it don't come out the way that you want it just so that you could cut up. I'm telling you, don't do it. Please. Ain't nobody asking you, please don't do it. Why? Because the babies are depending on you. Why? The world's depending on you. And guess what? Contrary to popular demand, Philadelphia is in the Bible. So you know they're going to play with you. You know they playing with us. They are playing with us. Don't fall into the fact that we don't know who we are. We're strong. And we're strong and we're united because we will. And it's Ramadan right now. So that means not only was they playing with Jesus in the tomb, now they messing with y'all. So I say that's like a Caesar Abraham thing, and we should be together on this. That's I'm just saying, right? Don't forget, Misunderstood Adrian. Make sure you follow, like, share, and surviving tough times is on its way. So look out for the pre-orders. I'll say it like that. Look out for the pre-orders, and I have some t-shirts as well. So all that stuff will be coming. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.